episode of Comic Fridays. We've been away a while, but we're back now and back in style, so let's get straight to it. This week we'll be continuing our discussion of drawing perspective in your comics with a look at two-point perspective. Two-point perspective is useful where you need to draw two sides of an object or a whole scene from an angle where the viewer is not facing directly onto an area running parallel with the horizon. Most street scenes are viewed in two-point perspective and the lines moving, which makes this drawing technique fundamental to comics and art in general. You start by drawing a line from your horizon, like we did with the one-point perspective last week. Now determine where your two focal points will be on the horizon. For many scenes, the focal points will be equidistant from the centre of the frame, as this makes it easier to set up the scene, but it is not essential for the points to be equidistant, and you can have a lot of fun experimenting with different positions. We're going to keep things simple by drawing a box in two-point perspective, just to demonstrate the technique. Draw two lines from the left focal point down to the lower right of the frame. The first line showed us where the top of the box would be, and the second shows us where the bottom of the box will be. Repeat this process with the right focal point. The points where the lines cross are the corners of the forwardmost edge of your box. Draw a vertical line between these points to form the front edge of the box. Draw another line from the left focal point so it intersects with the topmost line from the right focal point. Draw another line from the right focal point so it intersects with the topmost line of the left focal point. Where these two lines cross one another is the corner of the furthest corner of your box. Draw a vertical line down from where the last two lines touch the topmost lines you drew earlier. Now your box is complete. You can ink the lines of your box and erase the pencil lines just to leave a box drawn in two-point perspective. Next week, we'll complete our look at the various perspective techniques by taking a look at how to draw three-point perspective. Turning to comic news, there's been a lot going on while we were away. The UK's oldest continuing comic, The Dandy, ceased publication on its 75th birthday. While the comic sold 2 million copies each week during its heyday in the 1950s to the 1980s, recent sales have struggled around the 8,000 mark, making the comic thoroughly unprofitable. I tried to get hold of The Dandy's final issue, but I couldn't find it in any shops, which says a lot about just how badly it has been struggling over the last few years. Now, publishers DC Thomson & Co. are set to produce an all-digital version of the comic. I took a look at the website and it's impressive, but I'm saddened to see that they didn't go all the way with the digital comics. The site's issues page shows 3 comic covers and an after-Christmas special. That's not going to entice many people to sign up. Back in the 90s, Edgemont Fleetway were looking into digitising every issue of 2000 AD, with a view to releasing all the back issues on archived DVDs. With a back catalogue as substantial as DC Thomson has, this would have been a major undertaking, of course, but surely their recent issues are already on computer. It should not have been too big a job to offer the last year or so's comics on the site, ready for the all-digital launch. Moving on to comic reviews, 2000 AD's mega end-of-year issue, named Prog 2013, is a fantastic jumping-on point for anyone who wants to get their teeth into a range of new stories. Although there was a little filler in the issue with a Judge Dredd story that felt more than a little phoned in, and 6 pages of sketch art of comics that are actually in the issue, the overall quality of the issue was very good. New stories starting in this issue include Anthony Crucius Investigates, which I'm probably not pronouncing correctly, which does a thorough job of presenting a man who slipped into a parallel dimension and is having a little trouble fitting into someone else's life. The story runs along quickly and the characters have very distinct voices to them, which is great. The artwork is excellent, but Simon Davis is still suffering from the problem of depicting speaking characters without their mouths open. It's a small issue, I know, especially with his amazing command of colour, but it does tend to grate a little. What doesn't grate is the absolute weirdness of Ak Ak Macaque, a World War II story featuring apes flying Spitfires and giant Nazi robots. Nick Dye's artwork feels like a straight out of a traditional boys' war story comic, which is great. It fits the mood so perfectly for Gareth Powell's script. I can't rate this story highly enough. 2000 AD Prog 2013 is available from the 2000ADonline.com website in both printed and digital form. Okay, that's all we've got time for this week. I'm sorry for the delay since our last episode, but we're back now with our regular schedule, so I'll see you again this time next week. And remember to click the like button, share this with your friends so that they can see what's been going on in the comic world as well. And subscribe for future videos. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson. You've been watching Comic Fridays on ZJKR, and I'll see you next time.